Series 3. It's an oscillation of its own kind, really, this one, because we're going to be talking about the areas of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, that no one really is reaching, other than to subject it to labels like woo and pseudoscience in an attempt really to discredit any version of exploration into the depths of what is beyond what we already know. All this, of course, doesn't stop our exploration from going ahead, and it doesn't prevent us from being able to think about these subjects very deeply and explore them in our minds, which is, of course, where all progress begins in the first place anyway. So let's have a look at what some of the notable physicists down through the years have said about metaphysics. And just before we do that, this is, as you may recognise it, the chart for the last episode of Quantumology. And this is the beginning of the new chart to begin Series 3, which has a kind of a vague correlation to it. But we'll come on to that later. Let's have a look first at what the more famous people in the course of history have had to say about metaphysics. This is a throw into the mix, cat among the pigeons kind of thing that I've drawn here, and it came about, as I've just explained, as a result of the previous board that was up here. And these symbols they just made themselves apparent, so I'm going to expand on a couple of them just to see what you make of it. Here you've got the neutrinos. There's the tau neutrino and the muon neutrino, and this one didn't really make it into the mix of visualization. So I'll just kind of extrapolate here what it's done. It's kind of turned itself into that, which could be a description for an oscillating neutrino. I don't believe that there is a symbol yet for an oscillating neutrino, but hey, you know, there could be one now. Who knows? There are others that have appeared here. What about that one? Now, keep a clean mind, please. Now, if you reverse it, of course, you would get this. I don't know what that means. Or some kind of retrocausal time frame reversal? Who knows? What else appeared? Oh, that one. That was rather pretty. I like that one. Looks a little bit like a musical note, but it's got connotations of its own. and then lastly, let's have a look at that. There seems to be an arrow attached to that one. So, as far as I know, these are symbols that haven't been adopted yet, and who knows? That they could mean something. They could spark some kind of intuitive process in your own mind and let you latch onto it and stuff it into an equation. Essentially, that's what we're looking for, isn't it? We're looking for people who are able to take these concepts, i.e. take the visible part of what we see, and extrapolate them into the arena of metaphysics. So what is metaphysics? Some have asked. Well, as I've explained, that's a bad way to put it, isn't it? As I've explained, that's like saying, obviously, naughty Kathy. I think metaphysics is what is yet to come. And what is yet to come really depends very much on the minds and the applications of the people who are there in the thick of it. So what does meta mean then? Well, there are various descriptions in various dictionaries. Essentially, meta means beyond the thing itself, to view from a higher perspective. It means change, transformation, going beyond, above, a higher level of. Metaphysics isn't woo or pseudoscience or fake or something to be decried. It's a very, very important part of the field in which we operate within our scope of reality. And we have to understand it. We're driven to understand it. That's why we're here. That's why you're watching this video. That's why I'm on this quest. That's why we're investigating quantum mechanics the way we are. And why so many people are so interested in what the subject is and where it may take us. So, the thing about metaphysics is that it's here all the time. It's not a quantifiable entity or an aspect or a version of reality that we can necessarily determine, describe sufficiently, at least not in our current language terms. But the whole idea really here is to expand the trains of thought and allow new ground to be broken by virtue of inspiring it, feeding it with stuff that's thought-provoking. And working with physicists or being able to communicate with physicists is a very important part of the process. And that's just recognizing that the academic trains of thought and the way in which trained physicists are used to thinking is an intrinsically critical part of being able to piece together reality in a concept, a construct that we can all understand. There's been quite a lot of talk around about aliens and UFOs and tracking down alien technologies, communications, and so on and so forth. But let's face it, we are, whatever the truth about all that is, we are very much babes in the wood here. We rely on radio waves for our communication systems. Our technology has only just started to break the bounds of the quantum sphere, the quantum fields at all. And yet, if there is indeed alien civilization or advanced technologies out there doing their thing, what on earth would inspire them to come back down to if you like, in technological terms, and start using radio waves? If we're not advanced enough to catch up, then that's our hard luck, really. It's our lookout. Now, that's an aside. It's just an extra thing thrown in there. What are we aspiring to here? Are we aspiring to evolve our ways of thinking, to evolve our technologies, to be able to get into a different class of technology before Fermi's paradox kicks in and renders us defunct as a civilization? Because that seems to be the teetering of the brink that we're on at the moment. We are rendering ourselves busily defunct. And if we can catch up in time to be able to get more traction in our advancement and our technologies and our ways of thinking and our ways of existence, because that all depends on how we view reality, how we relate to our reality is very much part of the process in this. And it's going to make a difference. And there could well be turning points that we can't even begin to imagine, let alone have arrived at. So getting there, getting to that point of being able to elucidate the big questions about reality and being able to understand how the quantum fields and the particles therein actually work and why they behave as they do. Why oscillation? Why superposition? What's it for? What function does it have? These are big questions, and we can only answer them by studying with a metaphysical slant on the way we look at things. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been an interesting one to make. It's an introduction, if you like. It's the start of Series 3. And as we go deeper in, I'm going to pick points of contention to expand on further. So stay with me for that. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves in the run up to Christmas. Wow, it's nearly 2022. Where did that come from? Take care, have fun, love you loads just for being there and for being you. Thanks very much for watching.